All right, let's get started. Where's my? Oh no, wrong one. I clicked the wrong button. Oh, I haven't got my studio lights on. It's a bit daft of me. All right, great news. We're gonna start 032. Yeah. So we finally made it. Yeah. We're not gonna. Thanks, Socks, your tail's right in the way of my face. There we go. We're not going to start programming anything like that at the moment. We're doing a bit of research with the idea that we want to sort of plan everything before we start anything. I don't want to make that mistake again where I just jump into it and then have to invent stuff along the way. And this is where we get the technical debt and so forth like that. So we're going to do a bit of research. I've got the definition of done's done. I've also realized that I forgot to buy myself a freaking mouse. And my mouse is breaking. I don't have a spare one, which is really annoying. So we're going to be doing things the slow way today. Here's the definitions of done. What I'll do is I will use the very thin scroll bar over there to scroll up to the top, and we're just going to talk about what we're going to attack, and we're going to do some research for it. So first thing is the database is I want to essentially have a base table that has the structure for the common fields. Now, if we have a look into NearBeach, let's go minimize everything. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's open up the NearBeach and then the models themselves, wherever they've gone. There we go. You'll see in here, now I don't have a scroll button, so I'm going to have to hit the page down button. One thing also I'll probably do is move these out into utilities or somewhere that makes sense. You'll notice that down at the bottom I'll have the usual sort of date created, date modified, change user is deleted. There's also creation user in there too for quite a lot of them. We want to be consistent throughout all of them. So there's two ways of doing it. One, you can do it the bad way where you include each field on every single table in here, or you create a base class and you inherit from that. Which is what we'll probably do. And the good news is we should be fine. We should be fine with this. So, yeah. Yeah, the idea with this is just to make this particular structure a lot easier to read. Also, we'll probably break up the models file, because if we go to the very end, there's 2,000 rows in there, and I'm kind of like, well, even if we do the base stuff and we get that all set up, we won't knock off that many. We'll probably at most not even 1,000, I don't think. And even then, we could potentially break everything up into smaller files and put them in folders and lay it out better and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, yeah, that's part of the design. That's what we've got to start looking up today. The generic field names, I'll be actually asking on the Discord what people prefer. So there'll be sort of two things that I'll be tackling. So let's look up project. All right, cool. So I'm just using project as an example. We've got project ID, project name, project description. I think we'll probably make it generic as in either project ID, project title, and project description. Or we get rid of the suffix stuff and we just go ID, name, description. So I'll open this up, those couple of questions into the Discord. So I'll just put that hot link up here just to see what people prefer. Now the reason why I included, and I just realized we're in an ad break, and I will go to an ad break. All right, cool. Hopefully everyone's going well. It's Friday, yay. Yeah, just long week. All right, about 45 seconds left of the ads. For those on YouTube, we just run ads every half an hour. Let's just stop the pre-rolled ads. On Twitch, we do this so no one misses out on anything. So yeah, you also get to see Socks in a regal mode. She's like, what? It's over here. It's over there. There's the camera. Yep, yep. No, back here. This is the camera. This is the camera. Yep, there we go. Now I just think she's looking at the screen. She's just pretending to be me. All right, about 15 seconds left. And we have bin chicken here. A lovely little rubber duck. And welcome back, everyone. All right, cool. Got to do this the slow way. So, yeah, the thing I'll be asking the community is whether or not we'll have that suffix. Now, the reason why I included it many years ago was when I was a data scientist, we used a particular database. It didn't have any of these. It just had the very generic sort of fields like ID, name, and so forth like that. The problem was a lot of the queries that we had to run didn't actually specify which table it came from. So we ended up always having to specify which table those particular fields came from. And it could be two different tables. So for example, you might have a student table and then an address. Oh no, that's student address table. No, that doesn't. They'll have different fields. Student program. So the name field will be in both the student table and the program table, and we were all like, oh, every single time we run this, we have to change. Yeah, we always had to do the as and then go student name and then student program, or the program name and student name. So yeah. So that's why I include that by default. Whether or not people want that to continue, it'll be up for a vote. Socks's fur is it's that time of year. Socks's fur attaches itself to my mustache and it tickles my nose. One of the big aims that we want to do is, and we're hoping for this, we are aiming for this, is no manual migration. So we had a manual migration from 0.29 to 0.30. It was not ideal, nowhere near ideal actually to do that, and we don't want that. And we're hoping when we do our tests and so forth like that, it's just renaming of fields and creating any fields that we have missed. So for example, I do know creation user is missed in a few of the tables. Getting those automatically created and just filled out with a default value, which will probably be the first super user. So, we're hoping for that. Now, I'm pretty confident. I'm about 95% confident that we can actually achieve this. Worst case scenario, I need to write a migration file that will help migrate this. So, not ideal. But yeah, I'm hoping Django will handle the renaming of fields easily. The other thing is thinking about the table structures. So whether or not what we're doing with the table structures will work. At the moment, we've got it working how it is, just because of the ORM. We don't need to worry about any other way of doing it. However, that being said, it's always good to sort of do more research on how I can improve the database design and the structure of the tables and so forth like that. So yeah, definitely open for suggestions for that one, and then removing the required tables. So for example, the bugs. feature in NearBeach has long been deprecated. No one was using it. It was a pain to set up. It just didn't suit what we wanted it to do. That, and also we're hoping after we deploy 032, we'll build a bug tracking tool and quality tracking tool. So yeah, that's the future though. Don't worry about that today. So yeah. As for the front end, we'll be looking into adding types into our VueJS. So that would be great. We're also looking at decreasing the size of each file and everything like that. And that does mean we'll be removing some libraries that we're currently using in favor for other smaller and faster ones. So yeah. We're also going to finally implement Vite or Vite or however you pronounce it for doing all the compiling. We're moving all the backend calls to the API with a few exceptions. So, for example, updating user passwords and stuff like that. I'm going to get people's recommendations once again on that. It might be one of those things that I'm on the fence about whether to move that to an API call or handle it like Django would, like we currently are. So we're sending it to Django instead. Other things are the UI UX. So the good news is with the UI UX, that should actually be a lot higher. Sorry, give me a couple of seconds. I'm just going to do something like that. I'm also going to put that as a higher sort of thing. We're also going to put that as a higher thing because those two are definitely related. I'll slightly move down. I'm going to do some mock-ups soon. So the idea is I'm going to tackle those two tasks at the same time. We'll do a couple of mock-ups where I want to get the routing done. Also probably a project page and a new project page and so forth like that. Yeah, I just got to get the mock-ups sorted. Once the mock-ups are done, I'm definitely opening them up for feedback. So yeah, I'll be sending those out and being like, all right, cool, we need feedback on these. How does it feel? How does it look? And stuff like that. So now that that is done, what are we doing? Yeah, implementation of types. That's just for making development easier. So yeah, cool.js is what we're currently looking at. This was recommended by a friend. The idea being is it's going to be a lot smaller. I'm just going to hit the playground. Well, I think stop doing that. All right, cool. So I need to zoom in. The idea here is we'll have something small, and then a user can start typing in something like this, and the screen/modal will expand etc, and then they can go like, all right, cool, that's going to be a headed 1, that's going to be a headed 2. We don't want to. So yeah, we yeah, we'll do a little bit more research, but so far this is winning in the sense of what I want to do. Once again, this is open for discussion. So if you're like, hey, there's this other library I think that will suit you better and so forth like that, then yeah, hype up, say something. Essentially, I want to create more of a block editor instead of a WYSIWYG. Yeah. Another thing we're currently looking at is, of course, Tailwind. I'm not saying I hate Bootstrap, I'm just saying I feel like if I were to change all the designs and stuff like that, Tailwind would be more flexible for me. There's also a big bundle size with Bootstrap. I think I figured it out with the login screen. I go to test.nearbeach.app. Ooh, that one's off. Demo.nearbeach.app. We have a... Move that off to the left. Have a look here. So, we've got 108 kilobytes that have been sent. Most of that is the picture, and there's no Bootstrap on this particular page whatsoever. And I was like, well, I also have NearBeach.org, which uses Tailwind, and when we have a look at it, once again, the largest sort of stuff is more the images. So if I size that, we've got image. I can't scroll at the moment, so thank you Firefox for click the top one, scroll to the bottom automatically. We've got image, we've got font file, and then we've got the CSS, yeah, which is a lot smaller. So yeah, I kind of want to implement Tailwind. All right, we've also got to improve the accessibility of the app too. So yeah, definitely got to improve that. All right. So we'll be doing a lot of research around this. And then the back end. So essentially expand the API calls. That will also be happening on 0.31 at the same time. There will be minor differences. For example, the field names, because we'll be updating the field names and so forth like that. So you'll see me do releases that have new API calls in it and so forth like that. And the reason being is we want that feedback. So yeah, there will be 0.32 will be the release of the version 1 of the API. And we'll document the changes, and hopefully they're just field name changes, and that's all you need to worry about. So yeah, PoopTube, how are you? Poop you chew, how are you going? Are you serving over CDN with Brotty or gzip compression? Brotty, and yes, with CDN. So if I'm just going to move this to the left. This is my production version. We're just going to refresh the page. If we actually have a look at what's been sent. So you'll notice it comes from the NearBeach CDN. And then it should say the compression down here. Let's just move it down. I can never find these things in time. Education control, compression. Where are you? At least I should be. And I think if we go back into the code, it says it in the Webpack. So yeah, I do remember someone jumped onto chat and asked me, oh, why aren't you using Brotty? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, I should be using this. So we did implement it into the Webpack. I think it's under the common. compressor plugin. Yep. All right. Cool. Yeah, the Brotty compress. Cool. And we exclude the tiny mouse stuff. So yeah. Oh, it was? I can't find stuff. Oh, there it is. Now I see it. I can never find stuff. Just heard you mention the file size and figured it. I'll check. Should enable HTTP3 though. Ooh, I don't know about that one yet. You can let CloudFront compress at Edge instead of in your service, by the way. Oh, okay. Okay, God. I was only introduced 3 years ago. All right, TLS 1.3. All right, cool, easy done. Don't see Python on there. Yeah. Quick protocol, amazing tech, UDP. Okay, I'll have to look into it. It's usually enabled at CDN levels. Okay, cool. So it might be something I don't need to worry about it, which would be awesome. Yeah. All right. Going back into here and implementing Python types too. So yeah, once again, the types are there just for the developers, so they know what to expect from payloads or what data they're going to set up and so forth like that. Definitely read about exciting stuff. Fair enough. Yes. And how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Alright, I can close that. This is production, so I'm just going to move that up there. And we're just going to do some research today. So yeah, that's all we're doing. Living the dream, fair enough. I'm just glad it's Friday. I'm exhausted. I'm just like, all right. I'm hoping to finish Death Stranding this weekend. Oh, I should be going cycling too this weekend, which is nice. All right, we're going to look up Django RRM base model. And I just want to see if we do actually have the ability to create the base model. Yeah. I really shouldn't say base model. That's probably the wrong terminology. Okay. And that's another thing I should start looking up and reading. So there's a lot of things with the model that I can set up that automate quite a lot, which, yeah, at the time I just didn't know about, and like I should now know about this. So yeah. Oh yeah, wait, I've read that before. All right, my scroll button doesn't work. All right, let's scroll down. Let's just open up a couple of these and read them. So I'm popping that off to the left so you guys can also read at the same time. Oh, sorry, to the right. I know. Yeah, with the Django ORM, there's a lot of sort of meta stuff that it can do. So, hang on. Django ORM models. I want. So you got your basic sort of table. Let me zoom in so everyone can tell, and I'll page up and page down like someone who doesn't have a scroll wheel on his mouse. So in here, let's say you got your sort of basic sort of table. We do a similar thing over in NearBeach. We've got our models. I'll just scroll up to this one, but you can also see that I do this def string down here, and that's just to set, that's just to return the particular value and stuff like that. However, there are a lot more other things that Django can do. So I'm just going to scroll down. I'll find it. Meta. The meta options. So you can set the ordering. You can also set the plural version, and stuff like that. So yeah. Magic for short, lol. I just make sure database CLI is flexible enough to allow raw queries if SQL. Okay, fair enough. I use .NET at work, and we use stored procedures for modifying any of the data in the database, so it goes through that sort of layer. Yeah, we don't use RRMs in .NET at work. I don't know if there is an RRM for .NET, just because I haven't been exposed to it yet. But yeah, otherwise you can also do other stuff like this. So it looks like you got a little function within it that returns the baby boom status and all that kind of fun stuff. And then you got the full name, which returns the full name because you only really need to combine them like that. So yeah, you've got all this sort of awesome stuff that's built into Django that, yeah, I just need to sit down and read it and see if I need to use it. If I don't need it, I don't need it. Store procedures in database for CRUD is interesting. Never seen it. Yeah, that's how we handle it. So yeah, you've got the inserts, you got the gets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I don't know if there's any interesting documentation on it. .NET stored procedures. Freaking scroll reel. Oh no, that's just creating it. All right, this is because yeah, we don't do inline SQL. Django might be doing a few things. Might not be just a web API. And I don't know how hard it is to port from all the stuff I've done in Django into Flask yet. So it isn't going to be a complete rewrite. Also, remember, I just did also do the Django REST framework implementation for the API and stuff like that. So yeah, I haven't used Flask yet. I've got a friend who does, and he loves it, and I'm like, cool. So yeah, I would recommend it on his recommendation. Yeah, there's just a lot of NearBeach sort of already constructed with the Django framework, and it'll be hard to pull it away. If I were to wipe the slate and rebuild it, sure, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of meta stuff in here that I've just got to read up, which will be happening over the next month or two and so forth like that as I sort of plan this out. Anyway, let's get back to this. This person's like, how to create a base model. In almost, I'm going to zoom in so everyone can read this. I don't know why this is. In almost all my tables, it classes model. Yep, all right, cool. I have three date time fields, creation, validity start, validity end, cool. Is there a way to have a base model class where I declare those fields and make all my other models extend this one? I can't find. All right, cool. This is kind of what we want. So we go down here and it's like you need to create an abstract base class having these common fields and then inherit this base class in your model. So this is how we want to do it. Ooh, we've got some documentation. Now this is on 2.2. Whew, that is a long time ago. There we go. We'll jump to the dev one. So I'm going to stand up. I've been sitting for a while. All right. So we first create an abstract base class called base model. This base model contains the 3 model fields: creation date, validity date start, validity date end. Sweet. We'll be doing pretty much a similar thing, which are common in almost every model of yours. Sweet. In the inner meta class, we set abstract equals true. Okay, yep. This model will then not be used to create any database table. That's how it's done. All right. Instead, when we use it as a base class for other models, fields will be added to those of the child class. All right, cool. I'm going to bring down the Kanban information. We're just going to put that there for a minute. I think this makes complete and utter sense. I think so far I'm on board with this. This is going to go in the easy basket. All right, cool. So step 2, inherit this base class in your models. And yeah, this would be, model. So class my model, base model, cool, yep. So then it inherits everything. Class my model, base model, yep, cool. Here, model 1 and model 2, class contain 3 fields, creation date, from the base class base model, apart from the other model fields defined in it. All right, cool. Sweet. I'm gonna say this, we're just gonna copy this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this one. Base table structure, common fields. We're just going to put in some references in here. I don't think I need that anymore. I'm going to close that one. I'm going to copy this. And I'm just going to put that in there. I think I'll do that so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I think that will be good. Well, great. Oh, I need to switch on to that. And hope my scroll is all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to put this as an easy... Yeah, it's just going to be easy. All right, cool. Yeah, that was some very quick research. That was like, yes, you can do it. Here it is. It only takes you 5 minutes. And I'm like, sweet. Now, the problem is, and this is part of the research step, is how will it affect the database? And let's find out. All right, I'm just going to go over into my terminal. I'm just going to go cd sites NearBeach. We're going to go git status, make sure I've done nothing. All right, cool. We're just going to do a git pull just to figure out if we've got any code that should be on here. We just updated the tag. Sweet. Yeah, we've got version 102 out, which reminds me I've got to actually update my production version. It's currently on 101. So, in the models, we're just going to go to class project. And we're going to insert temp code. We're going to remove this. And then end temp code. All right, cool. In here, we're just gonna go class. We're just gonna go base model, and that's gonna be models model. Easy done. I'm then going to go onto an ad break. Sorry, that was poor timing. Anyway, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour. That's just because Twitch has the essentially you join a video, you join a stream, and you just get an ad, and they suck. We do this to stop that from happening. So yeah, we also don't continue on with the content, so no one misses out. So yeah, you get to see me throw the ball. I can solve a Rubik's cube. That I can do. Is that my? No, that's the stiff one. Ah, there it is. Don't ask me what type of Rubik's cube it is, because I honestly don't know. So I'm sorry. All right, let's just do blue. All right. Oh, sucks. You're making it look like I can't solve this, and you're covering up the fact that I'm, yeah. Oops, those are around the wrong way. We've got about 20 seconds worth of the ads left. Not much longer. All right, 6 seconds. Will I get this done in time? There we go. Cool. And welcome back, everyone. All right. Getting back into it. So I've just created the base class, and what I want to do now is I want to go down here. 1, 2, that's 5, that's 8, and then that's 11. I'm going to delete that from there. I'm going to go all the way up here. I'm just going to paste those in, and I'm just going to delete those. And I'm just going to do that. Now you might be asking, why am I doing this? Well, I want to make sure that if I do a migration or anything, I'll make the migration file. It's not going to make a migration file, because in reality, I haven't actually changed anything. These fields still exist under the project class. So this is just double checking everything. So first off, I need to actually get my source with VM bin activate. I then want to go Python 3, manage, make migrations. Oh, all right. So NearBeach base model, auto create a param. Oh, all right. Hang on. I screwed up. You know what I didn't do? I didn't add in the abstract layer. That's all I didn't do. All right, cool. Forget one step and you screw it all up. So we're going to try again. Python 3 manage make migration. Sorry, that's make migrations. We're going to hit enter. Alter field object template type on object template. Oh, all right. Now what's going to happen? If I go Python 3 manage migrate, and I run the server, and then I go to localhost, I'm going to move production up there just for a second. I'm also going to open up prod to quickly edit the file. We'll go into NearBeach logins. Yeah, this is just the admin thing. Cheers, thank you very much, Chandu16. So welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. I'll do that. So yeah, we're currently doing a lot of research at the moment. So NearBeach currently looks very ugly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm terrible at design and UI UX, and it really does show. So yeah, we're currently gonna redo the UI UX and all this sort of other stuff and so forth like that. How do you do your research? So depends on what I'm looking at. So If we talk about the database design, the first thing is I would Google for example, research on UI UX. All right, so this would be a bit different. What I would look at is competitors, or you've got really good sort of websites out there for design and so forth like that. If you look at, for example, Tailwind, not CSS, Tailblocks CSS, you can have a look at some mocked up wireframe designs in here. I'll just do that so you can see this properly. So you would go through and be like, all right, cool, that sort of works and so forth like that. Another thing is you can sort of look at what people are also doing. So for example, if I go Tailwind slider, I can have a look at what other people are doing. I'll just zoom in so you can see better. I can hear. So they've got something mocked up here. I've done slider. I meant sidebar. I had a moment. Don't worry. And my scroll wheel won't work. So yeah, I would have a look at what other people have done and essentially just visit websites. So forth with that. Why not go with, I have never heard of that one before. Give me a second. I hate when that happens. No, focus on this object, thank you. So your question, why not go with Shed Seed in Design? I've just never heard of them. That's it. And there we go, I can zoom in. Yeah, I just haven't heard of them. So yeah, this will definitely go on the list of research. So yeah, thank you very much for the recommendation. Yeah, that's it. I just go on websites for the UI UX. I check things out. I do this, I do that. Check refactoring GUI. Oh, okay, let's have a look. Did I buy this guy's book already? This looks familiar. I think I actually bought this guy's book. Or got a book. I forgot if it's this person or someone else. Sorry, my mouse button doesn't work. Because I remember some of these images. I'm a bad dev at design, refactoring GUI, world tactics for dev who want to do design. Yeah, yep, I think I actually did that. I think I did buy this. A lot of micro SaaS project people who are making money use ShadCN. I found this on Twitter. Fair enough. Keep the recommendations coming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought the book of this. So, yeah. All right. We're going to bring down this board again. Hey, get back down here. Thank you. I'm just going to close this for a second. I'm going to open up the front end. Improvements to the UI UDev. References. Let's put these in. These are really good references. So this one, straight away, boom. Refactoring UI. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that. I've just got to check my email. I'm just going to borrow this. Now, we use Naive UI for some of the components. I need to have the sort of discussion being like, I'm happy to continue with them, but if we're going to use their components, they've expanded their components a lot over the years. And when I say a lot, there's now they've now got cards, then they've got modals working and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, should I lean heavily into them? How big are their libraries and so forth like that? And how can I, you know, make tweaks and stuff like that? Or should I build my own components for the things that I'm using from their thing and so forth? It's a discussion, an open discussion at the moment. Are you actually using your project for research? Yeah, no, NearBeach builds NearBeach. So I've been dog fooding for quite some time now. So yeah. All right, I've got all of those. I had this open for to make sure projects are still working. Sorry, we got sidetracked. I'm just gonna save and close that. We're gonna pop that back up there so I don't accidentally do something silly like I usually do. So yeah. All right, we're going to page down. Where's project? All right, cool. Let's go into that. I mean, it seems to work exactly the same. So yeah, I think database really hasn't changed. I think the migration file will probably tell us what it's doing exactly. So alter, so object name, object template. Oh no, this is something else that I just realized should have been in the migration files a long time ago. All right, cool. Yeah, it didn't actually make a migration file at all. Awesome. I'm using VueJS. So yeah. And the reason why I'm using VueJS is just because back in August 2020, I decided to rewrite NearBeach. Like I deleted 95% of it, just should have deleted 100%. And I just knew VueJS more than I knew React. So I could just start running with the development of NearBeach. So yeah, and it's come a long way. But when I'm saying NearBeach has come a long way. We've refactored quite a lot. I've come a long way with learning VueJS too and stuff like that. Right now, fair enough. Angular's not that bad also, but then again, I've only ever used it once and in a short amount of time. So yeah, I didn't mind it at the time. Though I'm sure you can easily point out all the flaws that you don't like about it, which is fine. I probably didn't hit any of those flaws because what I did was very simple. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna go back here. Altered object template type. Yeah, all right, cool. That actually should be in source. That was bad of me. All right. So I'm going to test it with another model table. Now, I know that the bugs table, we're deprecating that, or deprecating it. Sorry, not depreciating. We're deprecating it. However, this is going to be a great test because it's missing a particular field. Oops, sorry. It's missing a field. So if we scroll down here, we've got the date created, date modified, we've got the changed user, but we don't have the modified user. We don't have the created user. So if I get rid of that and go all the way back up here, I am just going to change that to base model. Now, that doesn't work because we need to move this up to the top. So that's 40, that's 50, sorry, all right, cool. did that wrong. This is getting... All right, I just needed to move that up to the top. Clearly, there's something I don't know about Angular. So yeah. So we've got that in now. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to go Python 3 manage make migrations. So it is impossible to add a non-nullable field creation user to bug without specifying a default. This is because the database needs something popular to exist. So it's perfectly fine with this. I'm happy with this. We've just added a new field, and this is literally saying to me, hey, if there's already data in these particular tables, we need to set a default. What is the default going to be for existing data? So I will always go provide a default, and then it will be something like user dot objects dot filter is super user equals true, and then I think I go with the first. I'll use it. All right, cool. Hang on. This will be from Django dot auth. Import user. Give me 2 seconds. It's that long one. Django contrib auth models user. All right, auth models user. Yep. From Django, can I spell Django.contrib.auth.models import? Tell you what, I'm just going to copy this. We'll just pretend I just, yeah, cool. Hang on, I mucked up. No. Go one, paste it in like that from the invalid syntax. I'll do that again. Ow. I'll just say one. Cool. So yeah, that should be perfectly fine. I don't know how many tables that will affect though. So when we actually do this, we'll have to, yeah, we'll just have to, we'll find out on the day when we do it. That's the thing. All right, cool. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to say that piece of research is done with the database structure. Yeah, with the generic field names, that should be a lot easier to do. And then hopefully the aim being no manual migrations for the user. Automatic migrations will be perfectly fine. I'm happy with those. Django handles the migrations process really simply. Yeah. And ooh, I just heard something. And thank you very much. I'm Chrono Cross for the raid. How are you going? How's your stream? I was actually lurking, so now I'm over here. All right, I've just got to lurk someone else. What did you get up to? So I just rubbed sunscreen into my eye. Oh. Learning C# Poop said with stream. Oh, fair enough. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, welcome everyone. I'm Robotic Head. I'm working on an open source project management system called NearBeach. It's currently going through some massive changes. Essentially, you can see the UI UX on the screen. It's ugly as hell, and we're hoping to fix that. So today we're doing a bit of research with UI, UX, and so forth like that. We're just gathering information at the moment to sort of start the discussions around that. We're also going to be changing the database design. So, sorry, I literally got sunscreen in my eye and it just stings like hell. And we're just doing a couple of bits of testing and research around that. So we've got a couple of fields that are in every single database table, and we're like, all right, cool. We can actually create a base database extraction layer and inherit that into every single table. So yeah. All right, where was I? Yeah, we just tested the database one, and here's the Kanban board functionality. So we actually use NearBeach to help build NearBeach. And this is my cat Socks, by the way. She likes blocking the camera because she feels like she's more important. She's like, I am more important. So, going down here, no manual migrations, that would be great. Yeah, I've just got to think about table structures. So at the moment, we have a couple of weird sort of tables, and they're designed like this because of Django's RRM functionality. So the power of Django's RRM sort of dictated their design. So we've got what's called the object assignment table. And essentially it's a table that sort of, every object has a field in there, and it's a foreign key field, and it gets connected to a particular object, and it's how everything sort of joins together. So if there is a connection for a group, let's say you assign a group to a project, there'll be a row in there where the group column will be the group that you're assigning to the project, and the project column will be the project ID. And then the system just looks into this table and it's like, all right, cool, get me all the connections for this one particular project, and it'll just pull it out, and it's got all the foreign keys there, and I can use Django's powerful ORM to sort of handle a lot of that information. There are better systems out there that do things a bit differently. And I'm just wondering if it... well, I'm going to need to research it anyway. So, yeah. And hello, Stavik. Say nee. How are you going? Trying to learn JavaScript, but when I'm watching tutorials, I'm like, I can do this and that. But when I start doing it by myself, it's so tough. And tips on that, man. Build something small. Start small. Build something that you know you can do in an hour or maybe a day at most. From there, yeah, just build another thing and then another thing. I tend to learn exactly enough I need to start running. Means I miss a few things, means I will sort of do things wrong and stuff like that. However, I'm happy to learn those particular things at a later date. It also gives, as you sort of build new projects and stuff like that, you can start researching these questions online, Stack Overflow, blog posts, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, just build things. That's my recommendation. So what don't you like about the relationship? Oh, good question. Let me just show you. All right, I'm going to go into data grip. We're gonna, oh, I typed that wrong. Yeah, it's also how you learn too. I mean, there are tutorials out there, as in like, good old school book sort of tutorials that you could kind of follow. We also recommend Free Code Camp here as an extra resource, but yeah, my main recommendation is to just build something, because at least that's one way of learning. You come across a problem, you then start doing research to help solve that particular problem, and whilst you're doing all that, you are actually learning. Yeah. And then in about, let's say, a couple of months, what you do is you look back at your first project, and you come across it and be like, all right, I can do this better. And just do it better, because you would have learned a lot more. Anyway, to answer your question, if we have a look at the NearBeach object assignment table, I don't know, some of this is cut off because I've got an ultra wide monitor and stuff like that. We've just got a lot of fields. A lot of fields. And it's essentially a field for almost every single object in here. And then you got a couple of other ones that deal with link relationship and so forth like that. Best AI to debug code. I don't use AI to debug code. I do it myself. So I would add in breakpoints, or if you want console logs help, especially if you're dealing with JavaScript. And I just try and figure out what is broken. If you're using particular frameworks, you can use tools. So for example, I'm going to need to actually compile this code very quickly. I'm using VueJS for the front end, and what I use is a tool to actually see where the data is, what the data value is, and so forth like that, to figure out what's gone wrong. And it just takes so long to, this is also why we're moving to Vite. So if I open up that and I move that to the left, let's just refresh because it needs to do that thing where we jump into here. So what I can do is I could use this particular tool to sort of go through and be like, all right, cool, that's the root URL, that's the static URL. What data do I have in here? And I can break down into it and be like, all right, cool. This particular data is wrong. That's why that's rendering incorrectly. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those are my recommendations. So you would want second MN or whatever these IDs are. I didn't see much. Sorry. The idea of this table is you can get two of these objects to be connected. So for example, we'll go off the very first line. We can see that the group ID 1 is connected to the Kanban board ID of 1. So we can go to the front end and go Kanban information 1. If I edit the Kanban board, scroll down to the permission sections. I know administrator is group 1. So when I designed this, which was a long time ago, and I didn't have as much knowledge as I do now, I noticed that with the Django RM, I can just put all these fields into one instead of having tables that try and link everything up and so forth like that. Base entry we're looking at. So yeah, this is just trying to link all the different tables to get all the different objects, which are other tables, together. Or do you do free? I've got a 9-to-5 job, so yeah. I'm on salary. Yeah, object assignment. So yeah, the idea here is I want to look at this to see if it could be done better. At the moment, what happens is, because this is in Django RM, if I pull out this one row and I'm like, cool, the project ID is not null, I've got the project object there. So I just pull that out instead of having to do another call and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. However, I'm open for ears for this. To see if it can be redesigned, and then yeah. All right. We've reached an ad break. All right. For those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads because they suck. We tend to do this and talk. One table contains all the relationships. Yeah. Oops, I can't spell. When you started doing coding, you learned from tutorials or books in real life? Good question. So, depends. I've got several starts with programming. So, I learned how to program on a calculator. I had a little book, and that's how I did it. And this is back in the 90s. I'm that old, all right? However, when I went to university, it was course driven, and I learned C and MATLAB and Maple and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was coursework type of things. However, from there, I worked actually at the university and built a couple of database solutions, in which case, I'm gonna take off the headphones for this. I ended up buying a book. So there's the camera. So I ended up buying this book. It's Qt 4. That's how old it is. And I essentially ended up learning from that. However, nowadays, if I were to use a new language or framework that I don't know, I've got the web that I can access. So I will essentially do quite a lot of research, like is in, I will read their documentation, look at any blog posts a bit around it. Sure, you can use an LLM and stuff like that to sort of help you and so forth like that. But always remember to fall back on documentation. Yeah, the books are, and I would also extend that to blog posts too. Think of blog posts as either a single chapter in a book or at worst a partial chapter. So yeah. And yes, this is socks. Anyway, poop you chew, sorry. To get back to you, yes, that one table contains the vast majority of the relationships and how each object sort of interacts with each other. Yeah, if there's a better way to design it, I want to hear. So yeah, and remember, I do have a Discord. Thing is, you're stuck in tutorial hell. Just build something small. I'm literally being serious. Build something really, really small. For example, let's say you build something. Let's say this button actually changes something on the screen. Build something like that. So when you click on the button, in this sort of case, the modal pops up. But pretend the modal didn't pop up, and just pretend that that QA team just suddenly appeared. Build something like that. Because the step between me doing that and having that appear, there's not much. All right. When you think about it, what's the difference between clicking on this button and having that modal appear? And then when you solve that problem, what's the difference between having an empty drop down, filling it out, and having this button go from disabled into enabled? And then what's the difference between clicking on this button and having that empty group appear? So yeah, start something small and just build something small. It can do one thing. That's fine. You've built something. You've learned how to do that one thing. And then you build another thing to tackle a different sort of thing that you want to do. For example, you might want a button to make a modal appear. Do it. Then you suddenly know how to do that. All right, why not have relation IDs on columns of the table itself instead of joining on intermediate? Because it's a many-to-many. That's the problem. So a good way to explain it is if I scroll all the way down here, if I link an object, this particular project information is connected to project 1. And if we go into project 1, oops, sorry, I need to do that because cache issues. Why is my page down not working now? Sorry, I don't have a scroll wheel. You can see in here that, oops, project 2 is also connected in here. And you've got cases where, yeah, you need to keep that sort of connection. None were one to many. Whoops. They should be. The other thing is, I actually go into some code and I think the API will definitely show this. Yeah. All right. So if we go into not available data, object data, and we go into groups and users API. So I'll show you what this will look like. If we go into localhost, we go into API version 0, we've got, let's say project 1, and we want groups and users. Sorry, there's a breakpoint. I forgot to remove that one. Boom. So what this does is, I'll just close all of those. So it grabs all the information the front end actually kind of needs. So currently it's got the administrator in there as the group, and then we've got assigned user and so forth like that. And it doesn't matter what object this is. This could be a project or this could be a task, and it'll get the same sort of structured information. Now the one problem is projects and tasks are in two separate tables completely. But what I do because they're separated out like this. I've got foreign keys like this, and if I go into the API, let's do the get. So we just want the list. We don't want the correct. Sorry, there's a lot of. I should have just gone like this. Class list. Class list. List. There, def list. Oh, I don't know why I was typing in class. So for example, we'll get the destination location ID. Well, if it's a sprint, then that doesn't work in this. And then we get the information that is around this. That's just a function itself. So we'll get yeah, the group list and all that kind of. Yeah. So I'm just trying to also explain the madness that is this. So, all right, and then there's level. Yeah, sorry. Got to go down. So, for example, if we're getting the group list, we've got the destination. That's just making sure it goes from Kanban card to the Kanban board because it's a child object. And in here, we've got this little nifty trick where it doesn't matter what destination we're looking at, we can just filter for it like that because it'll be in the column. And Stavik, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah. My recommendation, build stuff. Just simple stuff. Trust me, everything complicated is built from really simple ideas. But yes, poop, chew. Yeah, I'm happy to look at redesign this. If there is a better way of doing this, then yeah, let's implement it. With the hope that we can automate the migration file. So yeah. All right. Getting back into this. So I feel like mostly talked about this. We've got I'm just wondering if my Humble Bundle has a database design book. Oops, sorry. I've just realized also I keep forgetting to update my NearBeach version to the latest version. Ooh, I haven't actually added. I didn't do 101. Oh, that's bad of me. What indices you have on that table, or what does the query itself look like? Definitely interested in SQL. I honestly don't know what the SQL would look like because I'm letting the ORM do all of that sort of stuff. As for the indices and the indexing and all that kind of stuff on that particular table, I haven't said anything. And that's another thing which I've got to do. And you have reminded me, I need to put in that card. Actually, no, sorry, that card is on a different... Oh, what's up there? All right. Potentially. Can I do that on SQLite? Not saying that I'm running on SQLite. I do use MySQL on the production version. It's just that for the developer database, it's SQLite because it's simple to set up for Django. For it's usually an option in the CLI. All right. SQLite, enable logs. Let's have a look. I can't scroll down. There's no easy way to do this in SQLite like there is in MySQL, but there are some options. One, some rapid libraries have something like this built in. But to find a rapid library, you'll need to probably first need to identify the target language, Perl, all right, cool, yep. Two, I would not in any way recommend the following for a production grade solution, but if you are mainly experimenting and debugging, then all right, cool. What I can easily do is I've got Docker on this computer. I can spin up a MySQL, Postgres, whatever I need, and definitely do it that way. So I tell you what, I don't know if we want to put this in here. Actually, no, we do want to actually put it in here because we want to create this as a task. So going down here, I'm just going to put in a new card. We're going to go turn on, or I should say enable SQL logs. We're actually going to put this up a little higher because we want to actually do this a lot sooner than later. All right, I will actually look at the RM. Enable SQL logs. Okay, we're just going to scroll down. Merge the logging snippet with the logging in your settings.py. Okay, cool. Actually, no, this is really, really simple. So we're going to grab this as a reference. We're going to go over here. I'm going to do this so you guys can actually see. We should enable the SQL logs for debugging and optimizing purpose. Develop environment only. Okay, reference. Cool, yeah, I can do that. All right. Gonna add that in. We're gonna. Oh yeah, I've got the lock position on, and I can't scroll up. All right, that one's done. Okay, I'm gonna put it there. As you see, there's a few little tiny things that I still need to actually implement in 0.31, but that's perfectly fine. Like, that's the indexing the NearBeach database is research. So yeah, that actually has something similar to this particular card. So yeah. All right, now, where were we? We were also, what was I doing on this one? I've absolutely forgotten. Trust me to forget something. All right, that one's been done. I can close that. I can open that. All right, cool. I'm just gonna hit refresh. This now should be on the new NearBeach version, the latest one. I am just double checking that. Yep, 101. 102, sorry. Cool. Oops. All right. Think about table structure. Yeah, we just talked about that. I'm just going to put in little notes in here. Where do I host? Azure. So I host on Azure Web Apps. So they're currently changing this. At the moment, I've got a Docker container, a Docker Compose sort of container, sort of running on the Azure Web Apps with a basic, very dev database. I don't need anything serious when it comes to the database. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It's fast. It's pretty fast. So yeah. All right. I'm just going to do that so you guys can see what I'm typing in here. So what I want to do is absolutely forget what I'm doing. Think about table structures. Have a look at the assignment tables. See if we can implement these better. All right, cool. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to save and close that. So yeah, that's how quick that saved. Manage DB or have your own image running. Manage DB. So yeah, I think it's, forgot how much it is. Azure Calculator. I've actually got two databases. One is an MS SQL and the other one is MySQL. The reason why MS SQL is because I've got an Umbraco CMS which requires MS SQL. So yeah, that's why. But they're not expensive. Let's go MySQL, add to estimate. And then we've got MS SQL, or SQL Server. I think it's, what are they calling it? Azure, oh yeah, Azure. Have you used explain analysis ever? Definitely we can't. No. All right. Oh. Okay. Well, I tell you what, this is. We've closed that one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. All right, no problem. Prod can 2. I hate how I can't scroll. other tools. So I should just pick out these two. But yeah, thank you very much for the recommendation. They're going on the ticket. All right, where was I? Yeah, with the pricing, I'm not spending that much. I think, because this is in Australia East, I think it is. I think it's burstable. I don't even think it's that. Yeah, I know I don't pay much for it. Yeah, I definitely don't pay that much. I pay something very, very small for both of them. Yeah, definitely not that much. So, yeah, close that. If you ever need to create an index, especially need to make sure it is executing properly, avoiding full table scan. Okay, cool. If you got any information on this, could you just post it in the Discord if you don't mind? That would be really helpful for me. All right, I'm just gonna close the blinds because it's dark outside. You gonna be okay there, Socks? You know, okay. Well. Ooh, sorry, big yawn. All right. Let's get back into here. Yeah, I think we've covered most of that. Now, improvements to the UI. Yeah, we've got a few really good recommendations tonight. No, I clicked on that. Thank you. I've never realized how much I've used my scroll on my mouse scroll until it stopped working. So yeah, it's a rabbit hole for sure. ESP with complicated queries. I don't know if I have a good resource. Okay, that's good. You're actually giving quite a number of good helpful stuff tonight, so yeah, thank you very much. It greatly appreciated. So yeah, I do like how this looks. This looks really nice. I like those, but I'm only saying but because I want to see a full page layout type of thing. So I think that's, yeah, building blocks for the web. So yeah, I do like the sidebar. It's warmed up. I've warmed up to it over the years. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, definitely. I will be asking a lot of questions tonight, so especially around about the renaming of the fields, what people's opinions are, because at the moment I'm very on the fence about certain things, and yeah, just getting that feedback would be great. Because remember, I designed this database a long time ago. Yeah, that just... Younger me wasn't as knowledgeable as older me. So yeah. For example, the generic names for the tables. So changing everything to have title and description instead of the varied out different naming convention that I went with. Also, if I have the table's name as a suffix on those particular fields. So yeah, those are the two main ones. Yeah, but I'll write it out. I'll put some examples in and so forth like that. So yeah, I really like this. Oh, sorry. Be odd. Now, I'm going to get rid of that, and I just want to see... Oh, I can't expand it bigger than that. Ah, oh, damn it. I was going to see if I could expand it to the whole page. Open in VO. What's that? No, I'd rather not sign up with anything at the moment. Full page. Oh, okay, so they take up the whole page. And G Bowen 1, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content tonight. We're just doing some research, very little programming. Yeah, we're figuring stuff out. So yeah, essentially, so I'm building an open source project management system called NearBeach. It looks ugly. And it's time for me to redesign the UI UX, since we're doing a lot of UI UX sort of stuff. We've just talked about the database design and so forth like that. We do have a Discord where we're going to discuss how we're going to change it to make more improvements. So essentially, as I've continued on with my developer life, I've learned new things have come out, and I'm like, you know what, let's try and get rid of technical debt, let's try and fix up quite a lot of stuff. So yeah. And sometimes you just need to have these discussions. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just looking at the UI, seeing how other people sort of lay things out. So this is the dashboard, and then they've got this lovely thing here, which we used to do tables in NearBeach, but they didn't look nice. And hence we moved to the card sort of layout, kind of like this. I can't use production because that actually has real people naming it. So yeah, we essentially ended up changing that to card-based sort of stuff, in which case you can just go list all and then include all that, and yeah, that's how it's meant to look. All right. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. I like that. Yeah, it's simple, it's easy. Just seeing what it'll look like on, I've opened up the wrong thing. Full page. Okay, so they are taking up the whole page. Okay, then you got the stuff down here. Oh, sorry. Oh, that was a big one. All right. Oh yeah, the login page. We're definitely going to have to change that too. See, I'm just going to do that so you guys can see. I like that. Some things we probably don't need in it. Oh, and if we implement single sign-on too, I think we can. Just try and remember. I do believe one of my libraries that I'm using has that ability, and we never implemented it. So yeah. All right. Scrolling down. Browse more blocks. Yeah. Login. Sign up. Calendar. No, we don't. Featured. No. Untime password. SSO is a must. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely for corporations and stuff like that. Ooh, we've hit an ad break. Sorry about this. All right, ad time. How's everyone going? Hopefully everyone's going well. So yeah, doing some research tonight. It's been good. It's been really, really good. So yeah, I'm got a lot of ideas rattling around in my head at the moment. So yeah. And thank you very much for the subscription, Poop a Shoe. So yeah, greatly appreciated. All the money that we actually get through the stream and stuff like that goes back into NearBeach. So we're hoping to, essentially get someone to help us with the UI UX. So yeah, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. And also now you don't get the ads, which is kind of good. So yeah. Not that I earn much from ads here. I think it's like 10 cents a month. It's not much. Time is money. Yes, fair enough. All right, let's get back into it. So, I feel like I've got enough information to run off with the UI UX at the moment. As for Vite, or Vite, or however it's pronounced, I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. I'll probably end up saying feet a lot. We kind of use it already, which is great. And don't worry, G Bowen 1, I'm not a designer either. You can clearly see that when you look at NearBeach. So yeah, it's functional, but it's not designed well. So yeah, don't worry about that. But over the years, I've learnt quite a lot, and I feel like it's time to sort of apply it, that knowledge. So I want to start sort of moving the compilation step into Vite. We use it already for the, you dig the design of it? Fair enough, it is very bootstrapian. There are... Alright, I am going to talk about the things I hate about NearBeach, which is fine. You're allowed to hate things about your own project, and it's good that you hate things about your own project, because you get driven to fix them. So I'm just going to go on mobile platform because, you know, sometimes, no, I'm clicking, don't, sometimes you just want to check something out on your mobile and stuff like that, and you want it to be quick and easy. So as you see here, it's like, okay, sort of basic, it sort of fits in and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of how this all fits in, but if we scroll all the way down to the bottom is this section here, all the tabs. It's just ugly. I've hated this for ages. And what will actually happen is I will redesign that. I'll probably end up moving some of this away from here and so forth like that. So yeah, that's just part of the UI UX design. I kind of do it over modern UI cookie clutter. yeah. I do primarily JS and Bootstrap and React and now Vite. Oh, fair enough. So I'm assuming you're mostly a front-end dev. However, that being said, JavaScript can easily be the back end, so I could easily be wrong. So yeah. So we do use Vite at the moment, but we use it for the unit tests in NearBeach. Considering, I think at one particular point I did try and get over to Vite, but there was a reason why I couldn't do it. I think at the time, and due to lack of knowledge, I was like, I'm going to put this in the too hard basket because we already have an existing system and I'm trying to modify it. And sometimes that doesn't work. However, with 0.32, we can get rid of that existing system because it's different enough to justify that. And thus, I can start with building up Vite again, getting that sort of working, and yeah. It'll be good to use it too. It's a lot faster than Webpack. Let's not lie. I do everything high level and low level, and also front end and back end and middleware. Oh, nice. So yeah, I just don't design. I am terrible at design. So yeah, the idea is we'll get Vite running. It'll handle the building. It will handle the unit tests. And yeah, I'll be happy with that. And then, yeah, things I've got to learn is the routing. And that's one thing I've got to put into here. So, did I not? No, I didn't. I missed a card. That's perfectly fine. View 3 routing. This will actually be a little bit higher because I've got to figure this out first. Yeah. So, view 3 routing. Or actually, I'm just going to go... Oh wow, that went all the way down. All right, cool. Routing. Client side. All right. Yep. Oh yep. This is yeah. I'm just going to copy this reference. I can close that now. I have my little rant. All right, so we got I did have a read of this the other day. Oops. To do for most single page applications, it's recommended to use the officially, and this is what we'll actually use. All right, cool. I'll go to the documentation because I don't need the source code. I just need the documentation. Yeah, so I need to learn this. Oh, I turned off that. Sorry, to turn it back on. I'm just going to bump that up. I hate the fact I don't have a scroll bar. So they will happen around about the same time. And I think the good sort of plan of attack is to sort of mock up a small version, like a very vertical slice mock up, where let's just say I have a dashboard and I've got the ability to create a new project, so a new project page and a project information page. I think that would be a good start. Okay. So I'm just rattling off things in my head very, very quickly. Those are the things I want to tackle first. All right, cool. View types, VueJS types. All right, let's actually VueJS or Vue 3. Quick way to apply types in code. Yes, Socks, what's the matter? Are you like wanting to come over here, or are you meowing to see if I'll come to you? Oh, go there, go there. To quickly apply types into Vue, especially when using several methods. I know I'm gonna have to do this manually, but that's fine. Unless someone knows a tool. So at the moment I don't use types, and the reason why I don't use types is at the time when I was sort of rebuilding up NearBeach with VueJS, so I didn't know types enough, and I was like, I don't know enough about types to sort of use them, and I do want to move to types. So at the moment I have the props set up so that they've definitely typed out and got defaults. Do you have observability handled already? Error notation / alert? Not really. Not at a sort of proper sort of structure, and that's also a good thing that I should look up. Oh, keyboard got unplugged. All right, that's going on the list. That's definitely going to be a high. We'll move that up. Don't find myself using types that much to even really fully utilize all of the TypeScript, etc. Fair enough, fair enough. And back when NearBeach was a lot smaller, yeah, I didn't really need it. However, it does come in use for when you're programming and you want to know what shape you're expecting from the API and stuff like that. Otherwise, most of the types are going to be number, string, an array. So yeah, and any is a type, yes, but we'll try and not use that. Yeah. Also, to fully answer your question, Poop-a-choo, we do have, so for example, I'm just going to go into here. I'm just going to stop the server to make an error pop up. So if, for example, someone is on a page and they do try and update, it does pop up with a toast at the bottom being like, hey, there is actually a problem. And I just realized the toast is being covered by my, by Socks's butt. There we go. However, once again, I'm all ears if there's a better way of doing things. You avoid types in JavaScript, TypeScript. Lol, that's why I enjoy it. If I want a million classes and static types, I use different languages for it. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. All right, Socks is. My cat, everyone. Right in front of stream. Leg up, going to town. Alright, so yeah, I do need to look into error notifications and stuff like that because yeah, I'll be moving to the new way of how I want to do things. You don't want types forced upon you, fair enough. I don't mind using them, I just don't feel the need to go beyond basic types. Oh, fair enough. That is also a very good point, yeah. My cat does the same thing, it has to be between me and the computer. Yeah, I know. Socks just likes to show off. I think, this is a long time ago. She did something with the webcam, and then she's turned around and just showed everyone her butt. I think she knocked the webcam down slightly. Yeah, we're talking this years ago. This is like 3 years ago. And I come back and everyone's doing asterisks in the chat. All right, so another thing we want to do is smaller files. I discussed this earlier. We'll probably be, because we'll be not using Bootstrap and we'll be using Tailwind and stuff like that, we'll probably end up with just the small files anyway. And as we're not using Tiny Mouse, also again, smaller files. So yeah, cats are hilarious, yeah. Socks is also a little troll. I have a really cheap webcam at the moment. It does the job. All right, it's a bit blurry at the moment because I just don't know why. It's not focusing. It's a cheap webcam. I used to have a more expensive webcam that had like a ring light on it, all that kind of stuff. Socks kept knocking it off the monitor constantly. Like I'll be like chatting, it'll be up here, and she'd come along and she'd be like, "Gosh," and fall behind the thing. Anyway, one day it just stopped working. That was Socks. Which reminds me, I do need to buy a new webcam soon. So one day, I'll get there one day. So yeah, I think inherently when we remove Bootstrap and Tiny Mouse and implement different libraries or frameworks, or whatever you want to say, we'll get smaller payloads. Moving towards MUI with Tailwind. What's MUI? The React component library. Oh, okay, cool. I haven't used this yet. They're using the Material UI. All right, I haven't heard of the Material UI. Okay. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Now, no, sorry. You watch my stream enough, you'll realize that I struggle with acronyms all the time. I've heard of Material UI. I just never put it into the acronym. So yeah, I had someone come in once and ask me something about an LLM, and I was like, "What's an LLM?" Knowing exactly what a large language model is and stuff like that. And there's the other one, Feather? Flutter. Oh no, Feather. Flutter. Yeah, it's this one. I've heard of this one too. I'll put it on dark mode. There we go. Alright, I'm getting distracted. let's go back here. Flutter is the mobile platform. Alright, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't used any of them, so. Out of curiosity, you're moving towards MUI with Tailwind petrification. If you don't mind me asking, what do you mean by the petrification? As in, like, it's just not being developed further, like it's set in stone now, or yeah, just out of curiosity. All right, so yeah, I think this will just occur with us doing things. Yeah, we're moving all the backend calls to the API, which will be awesome. I will be talking about certain calls around this. Implementation of types. I've done this one twice. Yeah, I've done that one twice, so I'm just gonna archive that one. Yeah, implementation of Quill.js. This was recommended by a friend. So I was looking for a block editor or something like that. They recommended this. We return 3. Like that. So yeah. And then that could be like, let's say C++. So I just need something simple and easy and a lot smaller than Tiny Mouse. Well, I use Tailwind CSS to make components really pretty. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, my music stopped. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, so if anyone has any other ideas of what sort of block editors I could potentially use, all ears. Ooh, all right. I'm hoping that I didn't drop, did I? Doesn't look like it. Drop frame 0. All right, cool. So I just had to reload my video feed. All right, and then back to the scrolling bar. I need a new mouse. I need a new mouse. Implement Quill. Yeah, implement Tailwind. And once again, I'm all ears for this. Yeah, the UI UX is going to be quite a big discussion because, yeah, if I end up using a component library or something like that, I might not need Tailwind. Everything might be included in that component library, and yeah, well, who knows? And then I've definitely improved the accessibility of the app. I'm going to leave that there, but I want to sort of scroll up because I got to research that. I don't know how to do that. What is it? Playful programming. So another streamer. Froller. All right, let's. What you see is what you get. So it's a whizzy goo. All right, let's bump this off. Yep, cool JS. Yep, that's on the list. What I'll do. Yeah, so I had a friend recommend QuillJS. So it's down here, implement QuillJS. I'm going to say implement new, what you see is what you get / block editor. And I'm just going to remove QuillJS from there, and then I'm going to put options, QuillJS, and I'm going to put that one in. QuillJS. All right, cool. Save and close. Easy done. Let's play around with it. Ooh, damn it. Yeah, so Tiny Mouse is currently being used in NearBeach. Have had a few issues with it in the last couple of years. So we're getting, in the last release that we were using of it, we were getting quite a lot of deprecation warnings and all this kind of stuff. We were having issues when people load the screens, warnings would pop up, and essentially there's a couple of issues around. For example, if we go into here, I want to implement the code, this doesn't work. Yeah, I think I need something a lot more stable, and considering it's about 2 megabytes to download everything, and it's just huge. And as you can see, this still stays there, and it's just annoying as hell. And it's just like, all right, cool. Yeah, so it's been annoying me the most. I want to look at and try other options to see how they can do things. There's certain things that I need it to do. So for example, NearBeach has the ability for us to actually upload an image. So if I grab an image, let's just grab the Joker. So we'll just copy this, go into here. We still want that to paste, and then we can save and close. I forgot which one it was, which card it is. That one. We still need that functionality and so forth like that. However, we really don't exactly need what you see is what you get. We can get away with a block editor. CK editor. All right, let's have a look. Oh, oops, wrong screen. Alright, I'm just gonna copy this. Where did I put the because I renamed it. I can't, there it is. Can't find it anymore. There we go. So this is CK editor. Save and close. So this is also a rich text editor for every use case. CK editor, modern editor that's all right, cool. Now I'm a little afraid that it's saying explore it for free and that I need an account. Is this open sourced? Drupal. All right. Yep. You think so? Yeah, it's... I've just got to look into these things. And you're saying tip-tap dev. Alright, where's this one? We're just going to open up that. We're just going to paste that in. We're going to go tip-tap. I'm just going to say tip-tap. I don't think it... Yep. Alright. So yeah, I just got to look into these. Tip-tap. Build AI native editors fast with production ready tools. Does a what you see, what you get really need AI in it? Okay. I really don't feel like that's a useful feature, having the commands there, do the / to actually be like, all right, cool, I need a heading and stuff like that. That's actually pretty cool. I really like that. Instead of actually typing something out, then clicking on the block and then changing it. Not as much as everyone else. So there are times I will use an LLM. That being said, I haven't used it to program. Usually getting sort of boilerplate up or getting some ideas from one, yeah, I've done that. But yeah, getting it to sort of program stuff out, no. Getting it to write some stuff out for me, sure. However, usually I go through an extra step where I will rewrite quite a lot of the stuff, or it will give me ideas of how I can structure my paragraphs and stuff like that. Yeah, I also use a lot of Umbraco at work, so a bit of Umbraco knowledge. Umbraco has changed drastically in the last couple of years, absolutely drastically, and for the better. So if you ask it about something on a specific Umbraco version, it'll most likely give you the wrong answer. It will try and say, oh, these functions exist, but these methods exist, but those particular methods won't exist in that particular version. And yeah, I've had it hallucinate way too much. So yeah, I do like the yeah, I really do like that. That is, I feel like, a great sort of functionality. And then I can do, because I'm not moving my hands away from the keyboard itself. All right, cool. I don't need the space, so this is a heading 2. Oh, I can't type. Test and documentation, 10 out of 10. I still go through. Once again, I go through what it's written and so forth like that. That being said, I will show something that it has completely and utterly written, and I'm like, all right, cool. So it is something for NearBeach. In NearBeach, we have, so a lot of this documentation I have written up in here, but I did not fully write the architecture documentation. That's weird. Ah, has the keyboard been unplugged again? No, not settings, sorry. More tools, web development tools. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get up so you guys can actually read this. So, I don't know how to write one of these documents at all. And I did a little bit of research on other places. I just don't know where to start with this, how to structure it. And yeah, I did get ChatGPT to sort of write this out. I did edit a few things here and there. It did get quite a bit wrong with NearBeach, but I got a fair amount correct, which is surprising nowadays. So yeah, considering I didn't think it knew much about NearBeach. So yeah, most of this is sort of auto-generated, and I need to expand on this too. And that's the problem. It's set up the base framework of it. I need to elaborate on a lot of this. So yeah. I work on an in-house LLM service with a bunch of tools and knowledge bases and whatnot, so I might be a bit biased. But yeah, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. I know AI is pretty much here, and I know how useful it can be for searching stuff. So yeah, I just realized we are in an ad break, so I will continue this conversation, but it will be an ad time conversation. But yeah, no, I reckon AI has definitely sort of changed how people have sort of searched nowadays. So how many times have you gone to Google and been like, for example, here's something I looked up the other day. Sunflowers are a type of flower where it has multiple flowers within the head. What is that called? And it was able to get me those results, and I was able to then confirm that name and stuff like that by further research. So yeah, and now I forgot what it's called. It's not even on the tip of my tongue, and oh my God, I'm gonna have to look this up very, very quickly. Sorry. Sunflowers are a type of flower where there are multiple flowers in the head. What is this called? Type of illogical Kathleen, or I think that was the word that I had. Integrate for false flower. There we go. Is an yep, inflorescence that resembles a flower. The word is sometimes used. So yeah, more you know nowadays. That's all I know. The surface level sort of stuff about that. So don't come at me with with the flowers. All right. So yeah, I've just got to test this one. Oh, that pricing scares me. All right. I'll go through all of these. Alright, there was a reason why I jumped onto playful programming. Alright, I'm going to bring that one down. Thank you very much. Awesome editors. Oh, yes. Actually, this is a great list. Thank you very much for finding this. I am going to put it in here. We are going to click on that. I'm going to put that at the top, references. All right, and then down here is I'm going to check references for more potential solutions. And can I spell? No. I'm just going to go save and continue. We're stuck on this one. All right, standalone, jQuery based, Angular for Vue. We've got remote editor, open source, document based on Vue 3. I don't mind that's in, I believe, Chinese. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. Okay, playground. Probably backend guy, so I apologize for the lack of. No, all good, all good. Oh wow, it's a full-on editor. All right, probably not what we want. Cool, very cool. Not gonna lie. All right, I came in here for. Hey, don't you dare! No. He's just come in to say hello. Sorry about this. Socks is getting grumpy at the other cat. Patty. who's just come in to say hello. Hey, Betty. Oh, buddy. Give me. It's okay. She's just grumpy. Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna shut the door slightly. Poor Patty. All right. Keep getting distracted. This was accessibility. I'm just gonna save and close that one, and don't you dare start fights. I can see you starting a fight. All right. Accessibility. Yeah. All right. Cool. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. This is also another resource that we definitely recommend on our stream. This shout out. I don't have his username right here, right in front of me. All right, cool. They have a book. The Art of Accessibility. Yep, there it is. All right, cool. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it into here as reference. Easy done. But yeah, we highly recommend playful programming. So yeah. Have you implemented search feature already? So NearBeach has a basic sort of search. It's very basic. Let me boot the server back up. And I'll show you how basic it is. Here it is. So for example, you might type in, I'm just gonna go something like that. Yeah, it's very basic. I've been meaning to implement I've been meaning to look into it and get something better out of this. When we move everything to the API, that is definitely something we could improve. So it is searching, I do believe, the title, but I forget if we've also enabled the description. So I'm just going to put in that into here. We're just going to copy this very, very quickly. I'm just going to scroll all the way down. We're going to update this project. We're going to go back to the search. I am going to type that in. Yeah, it's just the title at the moment. However, that being said, if you know there's improvements I can do to it, yeah, do tell me. I'm happy to sort of improve the search. I'm happy to put that on. Yeah. All right. Where am I? There we go. We'll probably be ending soon, just because I'm just getting tired. And the sun's, I got sunscreen in my eyes before, it's still stinging. It's pissing me off. Smaller files, but calls backend. All right, cool. Implement Tailwind. We got a bunch of options for that too. All right. Socks, it's okay. You're just... Gimme. No, really? Really? Oh. Alright, there's chat. If you ask them nicely, they'll give you a treat. Alright, and yeah, we're just going to extend the API calls. So we're moving everything to the API. So when you add a user or a group or stuff like that, yeah. I don't know much about SQLite, but might look into an equivalent Postgres TS Vector. I learned accessibility on Free Code Camp. Oh yeah, fair enough. We do recommend Free Code Camp. We have. So yeah, we do have the command here. Yeah. So Kurt has written this. Yeah, he's a friend of the stream. Oh, sorry, Corbin. Crutchley. Or Crutchcorn. Give me a couple of seconds. Let me actually... Let me find him. There he is. I'm going to give him a shout out. Because, yeah, this is his book. And I keep doing the wrong window. Yeah, this is his book. So, yeah, that's also a good point. I should put on Free Code Camp on there too as a reference. So, I scrolled right past it, didn't I? All right, and we're just going to open up that link. We're going to bring that one down. We're just going to paste here. We're just going to go. I actually can't read the screen with Sox's head in the way. All right, cool. We'll grab one of these. And yeah. Yeah, for development, it's great and easy. We recommend those who develop on NearBeach to use SQLite just because you can jump in. You don't need to install any libraries or anything like that. You don't need to spin up a Docker container to host the database. All you need to do is just migrate the file, run the migration scripts, and you're up and running, hopefully within less than 5 minutes for a NearBeach development environment. So yeah, many years ago, it was more complicated to set up NearBeach development environment. NearBeach development environment. Can I speak at the moment? No, I can't. That's why I'm probably finishing soon. And yeah, I watched a couple of streamers try and get it working, and I'm like, I need to simplify this whole entire process. So yeah. That was a wake-up call for me. That was oh, if I want other people to work on this, I need to fix this. So yeah, the term TS vector is firmly associated with Postgres' full text search capabilities, where it represents a data type used to store processes versions of text for efficient searching. SQLite does not natively support TS vector data types or the same full text search mechanism as PostgreSQL. Instead, SQLite provides its own full text search capabilities through virtual tables specified. All right, I'm tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to copy your comment. I am just going to copy it. I'm just going to put that as a reference in here. I'm going to. Oh, this is part of the back end. Oh, is it the back end or the database? I'm going to put it under database. Because we're specifically talking about the database. Improve search functionalities. I'm just going to put this as, not low, sorry, normal. And I'm just going to say poop chew. Look at what we could do to implement better search functionalities within NearBeach. Alright, cool. I like that SQLite 3 can be used in memory. Yeah. It's a powerful it's a powerful database for what it does. So, man. And it's open source, so you can go GitHub SQLite. Actually, I don't think they are on. I actually don't know where they store their code. Give me 2 seconds. I just assumed it. Oof, and I can't do that very quickly. All right, scrolling down. Oh, they got it on the archives and stuff like that. All right, cool. Use NoSQL/document. Yes. So this is going back many years ago now. Not that many. I had to make a website, and the idea of the website was it determined whether or not it was a feasible day to. No, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. All right, no. There's another thing. I needed to apply on a website, essentially a map that contained different zones. So if you're closer to the sea, you had a higher risk zone. The further away you go, a lower risk zone. Someone else did all this mapping data. The idea was that you would type in your address, it'll hit the NoSQL database, and it'll actually get essentially these polygons for the surrounding area and send you that information. So that's where I use the NoSQL database. It was really great for essentially map information and so forth like that, because I could just have the polygons in there, and then I think what was I using, MongoDB had also the functionality built into it for essentially telling it to be like, all right, I need all polygons that go into this sort of square. So yeah, I've used it before. I use Mongoose and MongoDB, so it fit with what I'm used to. Yeah. I haven't used DynamoDB, so yeah. But it's been a while since I've used these databases. Just haven't had the need yet. Haven't had a project with the requirement yet. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to close these. So we've got all of that. All right, yep. I've got that in that ticket. SQLite isn't bad with spatial geometry, by the way, with a good plugin. Spatterlite, okay. I haven't actually used any plugins for SQLite. Just haven't. I don't know why. It's an open source spatial extension with lightweight SQLite database. Oh, nice. I was hoping there was going to be a Wikipedia article. Let's just... Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. Do apologize about the yawn. Yeah, neat. All right. It is 9 o'clock now. So yeah, I think that's most of the planning that we've done, that we need to do. Python types. Python doesn't do types. It does type hints, I do believe, or something. Someone explained it to me once. Typing support for hint types. Yeah, it's done like that. This is open for us to discuss. Considering going to be moving a lot of the sort of calls and so forth like that to the API. Yeah, Django will just trying to think of the word. Django will be doing things a little bit differently. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, yeah. All right, I'm probably going to call it there. You can probably tell I'm a little fading. I do apologize. So, yeah. All right, I'm seeing who is running at the moment. Oh, not much. Oh. Okay. We have some game development. We've got, oh no, they're playing a game. They're playing a game. All right, we're limited. Yeah, and thank you very much for being here. We're gonna raid, I can't see that name all the way up there. I don't know if that's an I or an L. RJ L.I. Jones. Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here tonight. It has been wonderful. We've got a lot done, really. Even though it's talking and stuff like that, this needs to happen. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you very much for all the recommendations. Yeah, I've got them all keyed in there. It's going to be, I'm just going to go through on the weekend and just do a little bit of research here and there if I've got time. Hopefully I do. And yeah. Anyway, I'm going to read on through and hopefully you enjoy the next stream. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. It has been wonderful. Sadly, you can't join us with the raid, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Greatly appreciated.